Hola, Timothy Phoenix here. Just be positive. Just think positive. Try and be more positive. Don't you just hate it when people say that to you? Every single person that I've ever met who has anxiety or depression, that's just kryptonite to them. That's just the worst thing you can possibly say. Because, well, the thing is, the reaction normally would be, if I could be positive, then I would be positive. If I could just magically think positive, I wouldn't be in this mess, would I? I wouldn't have this mental health issue, would I? And the answer to that, I mean, look, I had anxiety for most of my life, so yeah, I'd be the same if someone had said that to me. I would have been like pretty pissed off. But here's the deal. They're kind of right, okay? And maybe the delivery of it and the kind of, just do it, just change it like that, obviously isn't going to happen. But the basic premise of being more positive as opposed to being negative is correct. That's how you will overcome your anxiety or your depression, by being more positive, and then those positive thoughts becoming positive actions, and then those positive actions bringing you positive things into your life. That's how it works. Now, I'm not saying that's easy to do, not by any stretch of the imagination. For most people, it's going to be a process of hard work and self-development and analysis. But what they're actually saying isn't actually wrong, okay? Now, the problem is that people who have anxiety and depression think negative thought processes constantly, okay? And it's come to the point where it's happened over a long period of time, and they've become so ingrained, these thought processes, that they're constantly thinking negative things. And that includes their reaction to things like people saying, just think positive. And the problem with that is that, well, it's not helping things, is it? I mean, you've got to think about how you can change that kind of reaction. Because at the end of the day, it is a choice. And this is the thing a lot of people don't get. It is a choice. You can make the choice to react to that positively, or you can react to that negatively. Okay? Now, by just saying, oh, if I could just think positive, then don't think I would do. Or maybe they probably just internalise that, because people with anxiety don't tend to want to get into an argument. But it's still a negative reaction. You could choose to react to that positively if you wanted to. It's a choice, okay? You might not agree with what they're saying, but you can still react to it in a different manner. The point I'm trying to make is that there is a choice in this. It's not out of your control. It may seem like it's out of your control, and that's because it's your subconscious mind that is bringing up these negative thought processes and making you instantly kind of react quickly, sharply, negatively to a lot of things. Let me give you an example of that. I remember one of the things when I had anxiety that would really, really get on my nerves would be when I saw someone, possibly on Facebook or something like that, and they would post, really blessed, I'm so blessed, my life's so amazing, so blessed to have so many great friends. You know the posts, right? The ones that people do. Probably showing off mostly, but anyway. Even if it's not true, my reaction would always be, oh God, I don't need to hear it. It would just get to me. It would just rattle me, And I understood that that was a negative reaction, okay? And that's down to me, not down to them. They're not making me react negatively, okay? It's my reaction to it. It's the way I interpreted it, okay? And I had a choice in that matter. Now, it may not seem like a choice at the time, because it comes instantly and quickly, bang, and you think it's them that's causing that. But only you can decide whether something is positive or negative at the end of the day, and only you can decide your reaction to it. It's a choice. Now, even today I still see that comment and still think, oh, blessed, it's so cliche. But I realised that at the time I was pissed off because of my own situation. I wasn't happy where I was in my life, and I didn't like to see other people out there bragging, or maybe not bragging, but just saying that they had a great life would be enough to think, oh. But deep down I know it was because I really wanted what they have. You know, I wanted to be able to feel blessed. I want to be, I probably wouldn't use that word, but I want to be able to feel good. That's it. And I'm not. I'm unhappy. And that's where most negative reactions come from. It's a place where that person is unhappy in some area of their life. And but once you start to recognise that and then realise, okay, I shouldn't be reacting like that to something like that, something pretty innocent. And what can I do about it? You know, is reacting negatively, is that helping me in any way? Well, it's not. No negative reaction is helping you in any way, okay? It's not helping you move on. In fact, it's only going to make things worse, because what it does is it then reinforces that negative thought process and those negative habits. And that's what gets you in that mess in the first place. It's a build-up of negative thought processes and negative patterns consistently over and over again. They become ingrained in your subconscious mind, which controls 95 to 99% of what you do. If you didn't know that, that's a fact. And it's, you know, it strengthens those neural pathways in the brain. Again, that's a scientific fact. And that's just going to keep the negativity coming, basically, and keep you hardwired to be negative and react negatively. So your job really, and your way out of this, is to start thinking more positive thoughts, okay? Reacting differently to things that are happening around you and not letting them get on top of you. Now, as I said, that's not an easy thing to do. You know, as I said, I still get pissed off when I see someone say they're blessed. So, you know, but I'm in a much better place now than I was when I had anxiety. I can tell you that for a fact. So, you know, I choose now to react, and it is a choice. I choose to react positively as much as I can to things. And sometimes I still do want to react negatively to things, but I stop myself. And that's through practice. And I think, yeah, that's not going to be beneficial to me. And I move on, okay? It's all about my own well-being at the end of the day. I understand that being negative is not helping me in any way. It doesn't make any difference to that person. They're not going to see the reaction. They don't care, you know? And even if someone's not being very nice to you, for example, and you feel they're drawing negativity out of you by treating you badly or whatever, you can still choose how to react to what they're doing, and saying. And at the end of the day, you've got to think about yourself and how it's affecting you. Now, again, I'm not saying that's an easy thing to do. You need to put the work in to make those changes, and that means you've got to find a way of getting into that subconscious mind. You can do it through hypnotherapy. I did it through hypnotherapy, and it worked very, very quickly for me. 1 hour, bang, social anxiety gone. Okay. I did cognitive behavioural therapy later in life when I had post-traumatic anxiety to work on that subconscious mind. It's all about understanding what's going on in there and what you can do to change those negative thought patterns and processes and habits into more positive ones. And, you know, all I can say is it works, okay? And really the point of this video for me today was to say, think about how you're reacting to things. Is it positive or is it negative? It's going to be one of the two. It could be neutral, I suppose, but it's mostly going to be positive or negative. Think about what you're doing and saying as a snap reaction to things that you're coming across, okay? And, you know, I'm not saying every single time has to be positive and like la-di-da, everything's wonderful. No, of course not. Life isn't like that. But you understand, you know, that, for example, something as trivial as someone saying, oh, just think positive. That person probably thinks they're helping you. They probably think that's the right thing to say. And it's not, really. But actually, they're not far away from the truth in that you do have to think positive. But what they need to understand is it's not going to happen just like that. Not for someone who has a serious anxiety or depression issue. But as I said, you need to be able to realise that your reaction to them, if it's negative and it gets you down, it makes you pissed off, and then you want to have a go back at them, or you're ruminating over it for hours and thinking, oh, why does everyone have to think that way? Why don't people understand what I'm going through, you know? Well, here's some news for you. They don't have to understand what you're going through. It's not their duty to understand what you're going through. They're going to be going through stuff in their life that you don't understand about. No doubt about that. Okay? Unless there's someone close to you, it's family, friends, close friends, who know you've got anxiety and depression and they're not making an effort to try and understand. That's different. But if it's just someone who's really not really a massive part of your life, for example, then, you know, it's not up to them. Okay? And even if it's friends and family, yes, they need to make an effort to kind of empathise with what you're going through. But at the end of the day, they're not going to understand totally. They're never going to, because they haven't had anxiety and depression. They're not in your situation. So you can't expect the whole world to suddenly start understanding what you're going through. It's not going to happen, okay? And it's not their duty to. The most important thing is that you understand what you're going through yourself. Because a lot of people with anxiety and depression don't really understand where it comes from and how it gets to the stage that it is and what they can do themselves to overcome it. You've got to start learning about the mind, learn about the subconscious mind, learn about your habits, learn about the neural pathways in your brain. These kind of things are going to help you to get yourself out of that problem. And then it doesn't matter who understands you or who doesn't. You know, don't worry about what everyone else is thinking. I know that's not difficult, because that's part of the problem. You are worrying about what everyone else is thinking, particularly if you have anxiety. But you've got to get out of that trying to kind of win everyone round and kind of, you know, get everyone to understand exactly what you're going through. And even if they did, well, what if they did? You still got anxiety, you still got depression, okay? You want to overcome it and get rid of it. And that starts with understanding where it comes from and how you can get rid of it, okay? And unfortunately, a lot of you won't want to hear this, but you have to be more positive. You just have to. That's how you do it. That's how you overcome it. So I'm sorry, but I'm going to say it to you as well. Start thinking more positively, okay? First of all, believe you can overcome it. That's the very first step. You've got to believe it, and that's thinking positively in itself. Believe that you can do it. I'm living proof you can do it. You can do it, okay? And it starts from there. If you want to find out a little bit more about this, you can read through some of my blog posts where I talk about what I've been through and exactly how I've overcome my anxiety. But yeah, I mean, I just wanted to do this because, you know, you see it everywhere on social media, people complaining that people are telling them to just think positive. And, you know, I just wanted to give my 2 cents on it, really. Okay, we'll leave it at that. Thanks for watching, and get onto the blog, timothyphoenix.com, check out my blog posts, leave a comment, get involved, subscribe, get my free book, How I Crushed Anxiety Twice, and you can too. And I'll see you next time, and hasta luego.